Hey everybody, this is Jason with Outdoor Adventures, and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to talk about hanging your food bag. Now, hanging your food bag is very simple. It's also a very important safety precaution that you need to take while you're hiking. Let's be honest, you're out in the woods and there are animals out here with you. Not only just bears, but mice, rodents, anything that can easily bite through this bag and get at your food. Also, it's not just for you, it's for anyone else that visits the campsite that you're going to be staying at, because once animals know that there's easy food around and people frequent this area with food, it's just going to throw off the behavior of all the wildlife involved, and they're going to know to keep going back to this place, especially bears. So let me talk you through it. The first thing you want to do, and what I do, is when I first get to camp, I set up my hammock and I make sure shelter is secure. And the next thing I'll do is I'll walk a couple hundred feet away from my shelter area, and I will look for a tree that is suitable for hanging. Now, I have just found this tree right here. It's away from the main part of the tree. Nothing is going to be able to climb up here and grab my food. So what I do, and you can do a couple things here. You can tie a little loop in the end of your bear bag line. In this case, I'm using 35 feet of 550 paracord. I prefer orange so I can see what I'm doing, and I also prefer paracord just because it's easy on your hands. You can use any kind of line you want here as long as you make sure it's going to support the weight. And you can simply tie a loop just by going like this. We'll pretend this is the end. If you just take the loop right here and you just wrap it around and go through, that's perfectly acceptable for a loop. You can see I already have a loop on the end of this, and that's where we're going to attach this carabiner. Okay, so we're going to hook the carabiner onto that loop. What I do is I carry this little, I think this weighs less than an ounce. It's just a mesh bag I got from, I think, a towel or something, or maybe a pack cover. I don't know where I got it. But I hook this little pouch onto the carabiner. Now, if you don't have one of these, or you don't want to buy one of these, you can easily just wrap this end around a rock and hook it in through here. But for all intents and purposes, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to go find a rock real quick. Okay, so I found this rock, and I put it inside the bag, and this is just to give it some weight so I can throw it over the tree limb. Alright, so spread your line out, and I'm going to toss this over. It may take you a couple tries. Don't get discouraged, especially if you're just tying off a little rock to the rope or a stick. This is why I kind of prefer having a little mesh bag. You can also use your tent stake bag too. It works great. So here we have the line that's wrapped up over that tree limb. And when I get to camp, right after I'm done setting up my hammock or my shelter or whatever I'm using, I will do this. I'll make sure I have that line up in the tree so I can easily just put my food bag up right before I go to bed. Now what I do is I take the bag, and I have a little loop on here that I can attach the carabiner to. If you don't have this loop, you could simply just go right through here. It doesn't matter. But for this purpose, I'm going to use the loop because that's what I'm used to. Okay. And now we're going to look for just some little stick, and I'll show you why in just a second. Alright, we got our stick. It's just about the width of my forefinger. Perfectly fine. Doesn't need to be crazy. Okay, so now that we have the rope up in the tree, we can, have dinner, chill for the night, and then when we're ready, all we got to do is take the loop, hook it onto the carabiner, which is attached to the food bag, take the end of the rope, and put it through the carabiner. Now this will act as kind of like a little pulley system. Okay, see how that works? And that, if we pull down, you'll see that the bag will raise up in the air. Now you can see that the bag is up in the tree. Remember that stick that I told you to get? Here it is right here, and here's the end of the line. Now, this is the only tricky part. Now, really, you should be reaching up as high as you can in doing this next step, but since I'm not going to be able to raise the camera up that high, I got to show you this way. So what you do is you make a loop, fold it back over, and take the line that was behind there with your forefingers. So let me show you that again. Make a loop, okay, just a little loop, fold it up, and take the line. Let me show you that again. Make the loop, okay. So here's what that looks like. It's just a little loop, okay, just a loop. It's real simple. Take the line and bring the back of the rope through. Now where my finger is where you're going to put your stick. Okay, so the stick isn't going anywhere now. Alright, you can see that the stick is immobile, but I can still slide it out if needed. Now what's going to happen is, when you let go of this line, it's going to go up to that carabiner and get stuck. Okay? Now, like I said, you want to make sure that you reach up as high as you possibly can and put that stick in that little loop that I just showed you. Now, you may be thinking that, well, now it's stuck in the tree, what are you going to do? Well, now, whenever you're ready, all you got to do is grab this string again, pull down, take the stick out, and then the line will slide right back out of that carabiner. Now this is known as the PCT style hang. PCT stands for Pacific Crest Trail, and this is what most people do whenever they're hiking that trail. It's worked for me every single time. It's very easy to do. It really doesn't require much knowledge, and it's very, very effective. A lot of people just throw the line over the tree and then they take this line and tie it to another tree. Problem with that is bears are smart. Bears are very, very smart. They can actually just claw this and, you know, the food bag will come right down. With this way, since they don't have thumbs, they're not going to be able to pull this line down and get to your food. So let me just show you what this looks like whenever you reach high enough up and you do that little knot that I showed you. Okay, so I just want to show you this again. Line over the tree. End of the line through the carabiner. Drag your food bag up to the top of the limb. Take your stick, make that loop. Very simple, guys. So in case anyone's wondering how I keep my line from getting tangled, I take this loop that I use for the carabiner, I put it on my pinky. Okay, so it's like that. And then I'll just take it and I'll just keep alternating between my pinky and my thumb. Whenever I get close to the end of the line, what I'll do is I will take that line and just wrap the whole thing up. Just like that. Okay, and then it easily comes off your thumb and your finger. And there you go. It will never get tangled like that. Or at least 99% of the time it won't get tangled. And then you can just tuck that little bit of remaining line in and you're good to go. Very simple, guys. So guys, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, comment below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.